Hey everyone, welcome back to Simply Blessed Crafts. Are you guys ready for another Just Your Imagination? Ooh! Because that's what we're getting into. Are you guys ready? Because let me tell you, they didn't make it easy this month. I would tell you what, I struggled. They don't make it easier on us this month, I tell you, because they made us craft with a wire paper towel holder from Dollar Tree. Yeah. That was probably my worst one. Was not easy at all. But we're going to get into it. Let's go. Alright, you guys. So, Just Our Imagination. And this is brought to you by our hosts, Ruskin Lace DIYs, Kathy Joe DIYs, and our co-host this month is OK Home DIYs. Let's get into it, guys, because that's what we're here for, right? Project number 1. And our dreaded wire holder, paper towel holder, whatever. We also had to use a wire hanger. And I'm going to let you know I struggled with this one a little bit because I did not have the proper tools to bend this. These are a pain to bend and to straighten out and everything. I probably had the most hard time getting this to bend the way I wanted it to be completely honest with you. But I am trying to straighten it out, and now I'm going to try to cut it. I actually had to have my husband come in and cut it for me. And now I folded it, and now I'm trying to bend it and get it to flatten out. I had to get into some tools here, and I had to, get some leverage, and I get out some handy dandy tools here and pound and all that lovely stuff. Made some stuff fall. Made a mess. I had some fun. Not really. But I saved you the trouble of watching all of that, really. I kind of did show you a couple little things just because, yeah, I had to show you that I struggled a little bit. This wasn't even the half of it. But I did actually start to grab some tools in here, and I'm starting to bend it a little bit more. I just wanted to close that in a little bit more to where it's not going to be such a thing, or such a knob on there, I guess, because it was just not wanting to bend completely. I wanted it to be a little bit more closed on this. But anyway, and this would have been a lot easier if I would have had some zip ties, you guys. So make sure you have some zip ties in your crafty stash. But is what we're making here today is we're going to go with a cross. So I am using the towel, or the paper towel holder and the wire hanger, and we are going to combine them both, and we are going to make a cross. So I grabbed some wire that I had in my stash here, and we are just going to wrap that around here real quick just to basically keep it from moving until I can get what I'm going to use to wrap this, because I'm not going to leave it the way it is. I'm just using this to wrap it around for our solid purpose here. And now I started to wrap this with jute. That was my original plan. I thought it would work. Once I got it completely wrapped, I did not like it, so we went another route. Now, I did glue it at first, and then I just basically just completely wrapped it around. I did start to glue the top of it here just to make it fully solid at the very top, you know, normal. And then I started wrapping around the arms of the cross, the sides of the cross. That's what I didn't like. I mean, we had the regular solid middle of it, and then the arms were just like weird shaped because of the hanger. That's what I did not like about this whole ordeal. So I grabbed some of the white nautical rope from Dollar Tree, and I decided we were going to go and wrap this completely around on top of all this, which helped in a great deal because with the jute twine, it actually had a lot more to glue to with the nautical rope. So it wasn't a mistake that we wrapped it with the jute twine. So I was happy that we did wrap it, but I like the jute or the nautical rope a heck of a lot better. And it looks a lot more bulkier and a little more, I don't know, a little bit more like a cross, I guess. It did take two full pieces to wrap this completely, just so you are aware. I did take some of my Holz, and this is rusty Hinge, I believe. I did just kind of want to rust it up just a little bit. If you don't want to do this, you don't have to, but I do kind of like this is the old rust, the old rugged cross, so I did kind of want to give it a little bit more of a dirty kind of look, so we did kind of go that route. And then I'm going to take some green felt here, and I'm going to put this around the bottom of it. And I'm basically just cutting a hole in it to where we can wrap it around. And get it to fill in that bottom there. To cover up the metal pieces. I didn't want those to show, of course. And then we're going to cut all the way around to kind of around the metal piece to kind of make it the round surface. I didn't want it to be in the square piece, the triangle or whatever. I do believe I cut this out. I don't believe I show this. I had to go get another pair of scissors too. Those scissors were, I swear, I pretty much probably ruined them from cutting in some metal and stuff. I then decided I was going to fill the bottom with some of this moss and stuff to kind of give it a little bit more of a realistic grassy look instead of just the moss down on the bottom, or just the felt down on the bottom, I mean. So I fill this all completely in here. Probably could have cut more of it out. I did cut a bunch of it out because I didn't need to see it all. I did also grab another piece of purple felt, and we are going to use this as the drapery over the cross here. I kind of folded it on the little bit there to kind of make it a little bit more elegant, and we're going to kind of just tack that down across the arms of the cross there. I grabbed some of these little flowers, and we're kind of just going to tack these down at the very bottom of the cross. And then to finish this off, I grabbed one of these little wreaths here, and we're going to tack that right at the very top. It kind of looks like the crown of thorns. You'll see more of that in the final reveal, you guys. DIY number 2, which is our third project, or third challenge item, and that is the tin can. So I'm grabbing just a white piece of paper, and I'm just going to cover this. I did just use tape here just to cover it. You know, hot glue and metal just don't really mix, so I chose this route instead. I'm cutting the excess off, and I am going to fill in that little piece there as well, but I don't show that. We're just going to move on there, and this is very, 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 very thin, cheap Dollar Tree tin foil that I picked up. And we are going to peel off a piece here, and I'm going to grab one of these little wooden rounds that came in a 2-pack from either Hobby Lobby or Michael's, and I am going to wrap it in tin foil. I am going to take another piece of tin foil, and we're going to also rip off another little chunk. And I'm going to actually kind of fold this a little bit here, but we are going to basically wrap that around the little edge that we had still left over from that other piece, and I'm going to kind of fold it and mold it into kind of like a little it's almost kind of like a little cat tail, kind of, but it's going to be it's going to be kind of like a mushroom top, but I wanted to make it a unique looking one. It's going to kind of have a little bit of a curliness to it. I am going to now wrap it with another piece of wire just to give it a little bit more of a stability. We are going to wrap this in clay, and I wanted to give it a little bit more stability. I also, off camera, after I got this completely, because we're going to cover this with clay, but after I covered it with clay off camera, I actually did have to add another metal piece to kind of prop it up a little bit more. I had to actually use spit it out, Tiffany, stretched out, oh my goodness, you guys, why can't I speak? Oh my gosh, it'll come to me, I swear. I hope it does anyway. But after, I basically am just filling this in. I do stack it up higher and everything, and that's why I think I had to add the extra metal piece to it. The curve of it was kind of, the pressure of the clay, I think, was kind of curving my curl to fall. And that's kind of what I had to prop up. I had to prop up the curl of my of the clay there, but I do kind of add a little bit more of a edge around this with some more clay. I kind of wanted a little bit more of a hangover on the little metal or little wood piece there. So I do add a little bit more of that, and I'm just kind of trying to smooth this out the best way I can. And yeah, we're just taking our time. I do end up getting a little bit of water here and just trying to smooth everything out as smooth as possible. And I do try to paint this as well when the paint or when the clay is wet. It does help with cracking. It kind of prevents as much cracking as possible if you can paint it when it's still wet. I paint it with flag red, I believe, and then I'm going to go in with some white, I think this is antique white actually, and I'm going to just dab on some little spots here. We're going to kind of make like a toadstool looking mushroom, and we're going to kind of do some bigger spots here, and then we're going to take a smaller dabber and we're going to dab on some smaller spots all over. And this is probably where I decided I was going to put that metal piece in. And then I'm going to set it aside and let it dry. And this is when I am going to go to my tin can and we're going to paint it. I started off with my gel stain in walnut, and I paint the whole can. I do end up going in with some caramel here. I think this is where I go in with oh no, I'm going to measure my door first. My door and windows, I picked those out. I got those off of Temu. But I just pick them out and kind of decide that those are what I wanted to go with. But I also go in, I thought this was just a little too dark for a mushroom. So I kind of go in with some, I think this is like warm caramel or something like that. And I just wanted to lighten this up just a tiny bit and kind of smooth out that other color. So I go in and kind of go over the top of that and kind of blend in those colors a little bit more. And then I'm going to go in with my door and windows here. With this is because these are solid, and it's going to kind of be kind of hard to, you can't bend these. They're wood. So, and this is on a solid, or a curved can. So I grab some more clay, and I'm actually going to form the clay around the door to kind of make it look like it's an alcove kind of thing is kind of what I'm going to do. The only one that's going to, or the only things that are going to be kind of a pain are the windows, and those are a little bit loose on my can because they're I can't really do those with the windows because of it being because the notches are in, the windows are cutouts and stuff like that. I didn't really want the clay to be seen and stuff, so those were going to be a little bit harder to do. So I did end up having problems having them stick a little bit, but just as long as nobody's like peeling at them or whatever, they should stick. So, but I did go in and paint that more with that caramel paint. just so when it dries it won't crack on there either. And now we're gonna go in and paint our door. So I go in with some burnt umber, and I do add a little bit of water to this, and we're just gonna kind of give it a little bit of a watered down, it's gonna be kind of like a watered down stain, I guess, and give that a little bit of a color there. I do kind of wipe back the excess a little bit, and then we're gonna go in with some this is kind of like a silver, it's kind of like a sterling silver color, kind of has a little metallic into it, and I'm just gonna go around the edges of that and the little hinges and stuff there. And then I do the windows as well. Now this part here, I do show you because I show you that I paint over these. I kind of wanted to do, I tried doing it with clay and I didn't like it, so I scratched that and I just cut it out because it was a total mess. I mean, I could have showed you, but this video is already long enough. So I decided to paint them because I thought it would be really cool to have like vines and stuff growing on it, but I didn't like the paint job on them, so I kind of wanted to try to do like 3D look, and I didn't really like the paint job on them, so I was gonna try doing it with something else. So this is my attempt on it. So here I'm trying to just kind of give it a light color over on what I painted. I was fine with it kind of showing a little bit of it because you weren't going to actually see the complete product. And if you have a little bit of moss texture growing on the mushroom, then fine. I mean, that's exactly what I mean a mushroom is fungus, right? So I mean, we're fine. I was fine with that being shown a little bit through some of this paint. So it didn't get a full coverage of all the green, so it is what it is. So you kind of can see a little bit more of the green after it, but it dulled it down a lot. Anyway, I decided I was gonna just maybe try just gluing some of this greenery on there. So that's kind of what I end up doing. It doesn't do the best job, but again, just as long as people aren't over there just like totally picking at it, it should hold it. And I'm just kind of, this window ended up falling off, so I'm just gonna kind of glue around where the window was originally and kind of do that, and then we're gonna glue the window back down. Right there, just along the little vines or weeds or whatever you want to call them around our little mushroom bottom. And then we're going to do the very same thing over here on the other side around our little window. I was really having a hard time getting the tops of these picks to stick down. The bottoms were sticking just fine, but for some reason the tops just did not want to stick down at all. So they're kind of floppy, but it is what it is. And then I grabbed my mushroom top, which is all dry now. This is the next day, so it's all dry. Everything's good. I decided I was wanted to kind of rough it up a little bit. I mean, we are in the forest or nature or whatever, supposedly. So I wanted to just kind of dirty it up a little bit. Give it some little rustic tendencies. So I'm just kind of grabbing a little bit of dirty brush here with my antique. It's that gel stain that I have there. And I'm just kind of basically dry brushing it over that, and now we're gonna glue our mushroom top right onto our little little can here. And I felt like it just needed one more little thing. I did add a little doorknob here with my little black pen. That's what I did there. But I thought it needed just like 2 little tiny mushrooms. I don't know why this big huge mushroom needed 2 little mushrooms, but I just thought it just needed something there. So I got these 2 little mushrooms here, and I just glued these 2 little mushrooms right here, right by the door. So I grabbed 2 of these little ones. These I also got off of Temu, and I just included these down here beside the door here. And that is all, guys. Final reveal. And here is our beautiful cross representing Jesus, who has been crucified and has risen. Yeah. So that is our representation of that. And I think it turned out great. Who knew you could do that with a paper towel holder? I thought it turned out absolutely cool. So yeah. And then our cute little mushroom can house here. The little windows. Would have been better if you couldn't see the tin foil, but I don't know. And then I had this little gnome here that I thought was just cute to sit next to it. Anyway, guys, let me know down below what you guys think. Make sure you go check out everybody over at the playlist. Love ya. Bye.